the mic and he's ready to go. Noodle on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Wake and Jake in the morning, Wake and Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Woo! Good morning, Bakers. What is going on? Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Is that Jaquan? Good morning. Happy, official, full-blown baseball playoffs. I know that's a weird way to say it, but the wild card is over. We're going to the full division series. Our matchups are set. Producer BBD and myself with you. We are in the playoff grind. We sleep when we're dead. We drink when we're women. BBD, how are you, man? How are you?
Doing well. Hell, had a nice walk into work today. New commute is cool. And there's another reason I'm doing great that you'll hear about in one of our later segments of the show.
Wow, BBD, the secrets to greatness reveal. I see everyone in the chat right now. Josh, Rusty, Legolas. Wow, love your arrow work. Maxwell, Sam, Tom, everyone. You guys are the best. Thank you. Won't do a game of the night. I guess there'd be dueling baseball games of the night. 2 days ago, you already know, our last official Yankees funeral for the year. The Yankees went shipping up to Boston. Whoa. And they lost again. Man, it was really sad. We did Talking Yanks. And it's all laid out there. This team didn't feel like it for a while. For a while, they gave us a month and a half of fun, which was cool. Outside of that, it was just a weird Yankee year. Don't get me wrong. If you're a spoiled Yankees fan person, I get it. I understand it. We like the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I understand, the Yankees having a winning record every year since 91 or whatever it is. How crazy that is. But yeah, this Yankees team they were the American League World Series favorites. Wheels just kind of never came on. I don't even know. I was going to say the wheels came.
I guess in August from then on, the wheels were on, but they had an awful stretch still at the beginning of September.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many just bad comparisons coming in my head.
One of the people that does the Yankee stuff, I get it. They won 92 games, and on paper, kind of crazy that we're saying it was the least pleasant Yankee season, in our lives.
I don't think I'm... Expectation-wise.
Because of the expectation.
Expectation-wise, there's a conversation made.
2013, 14, 15.
One of the most underachieving teams in recent Yankee history. That's kind of fair.
I suppose to the 2000 Yankees technically were underachieving. They ended up winning because they got hot and they got to the playoffs. But didn't they only win 88 games or something?
Yeah, the
division was bad.
2000 Yankees had a regular season, but they had a team filled with guys that have won multiple championships already.
They'd already won 3
so
in the
that's
last 4 years.
Kind of that Yankee stereotype of you wouldn't want to run into the Yankees. In 2000, absolutely. That's like the Astros now, basically.
Yeah.
Or the Dodgers. But, Boone, we'll see. The contract is up. That's how they walked away from Girardi. There have been some
the
quotes.
Yankees love having the ability to say that we didn't fire him.
I do, and that's where things get tricky because we've been seeing some of the quotes come out, and you try to read through the tea leaves, and at the same time, Boone has a good argument. Like I think the team averages 98 wins per 162 with him or whatever. That being said, the postseason stuff has come up short. This most recent regular season has come up short. The past couple years has kind of been a decline. And I guess my other thing is, like, what kind of contract would they even offer Boone? I mean, he's not going to sign a 1-year deal to just, like, be a duck, kind of.
Yeah, they need to give him a real contract because
like,
managers don't get.
You give him a 1-year deal, it's basically saying, like, win the World Series or bust, and this team currently isn't that. And, like, if you're Boone, I don't think you'd want to walk into that. So I think there are a lot of changes coming for the Yankees. We're going to have all offseason to talk about it. Gary Sanchez probably gone. Luke Voigt. I think DJ will be going to first or third, which that changes your free agency a little bit. Probably looking at a shortstop. And then, yeah, I guess Aaron Hicks will be coming back. They still have outfield bodies. Is guard dog done? He had a quote after the season that, like, he doesn't want to be, and he played a ton of games this year.
And, I mean, he ultimately does, like, have the player option on his contract. I mean, it's kind of a fake one. We talked about it all last offseason, that it was to manipulate salary stuff. But ultimately, if it's just gun to his head, you want to be back at this number, he can decide to.
Yeah.
They kind of need him because, I mean, yeah, they have kind of a full outfield package with everybody, but do you think all four of the other guys are starting the season on the active roster?
No, and
even then, one of them is going to DH any given day.
And I don't love them in the outfield for 162. So Yankees are going to have a lot of questions. Seeing re-sign Rizzo in the chat, question mark. I don't know. Like, I don't think the door is closed. I think that would depend a lot more on Anthony Rizzo's free agent suitors. I think there's going to be a bigger market for him outside of the Yankees. But, I think the lefty bats are going to play. I think they showed that. Ideally, athleticism, so Rizzo's kind of out there. And DJ's going to have to play first or third. So, hey, that's kind of heavy talking Yank stuff. And they're the team that lost. And Garrett Cole, their ace, got lit up and didn't have it. The team that did show up at their home stadium, because they beat this team in the regular season, and they had the same record. And the Yankees had a lot of games they could have easily won. I know Boston, any baseball team has games you think you could have won, but, oh, boy. The Yankees had a lot more, and the game would have been in the stadium. Significant, especially when there's a giant wall in left field. Anyways, Boston Red Sox, expectations coming into this year, none. Fourth, third place.
Everyone thought, I guess a lot of people thought Blue Jays were going to take a step. They took an even bigger step than everyone thought. They figured that was going to be leapfrog in Boston. And maybe leapfrogging Tampa, too. But, no.
Yeah, no, I mean, Nathan Eovaldi, he deserves a ton of credit. I said this on Talking Baseball the other day. Like, the storylines move quick and we forget them. I mean, he was a huge part of their 2018 championship. I mean, especially that World Series game where he threw 90 pitches and extra innings. He wasn't supposed to pitch that day, but Boston, him doing that, saved them probably four other pitchers. And they pushed their pitching staff so hard in that World Series. Here he is, he gets the contract. People are like, whoa, Nathan Eovaldi. They're looking at the career numbers, blah, blah, blah. Two TJs. And now the contract looks like a steal. I mean,
only 1 year left of it. It's kind of, you've gotten all the value out of it already. This year's a bonus.
And
next year's a bonus.
That and some. So, yeah, he outduels Garrett Cole. Their bullpen does enough. The Yankees, there's the Judge throw out at home plate. Schwarber and Rizzo both homer. That's fun. Devers and Bogarts, man. I mean, talk about your righty, lefty, left side of the infield combo. Verdugo, always a tough at-bat. Red Sox advance to play the Rays. They play game 1 tonight. Erod versus Shane McClanahan. Rays are sick. McClanahan, Boz, and Rasmussen are their current projected starters. I don't know. It seems like they do the whole thing differently, and it works. Erod, Sale, and Evaldi. So, interested to see. Do we know their head-to-head this season at all? Is that the easiest spot to find that?
And I would assume Rays at least one more of the games.
Rays just win a lot of damn baseball games.
Yes. Also I guess I got to figure out how bad the JD injury is. They have to be probably more forthcoming about it now with a full series.
Yeah, and they probably need to announce roster today at some point,
I would assume maybe by the end of the show we'll have some roster stuff.
Yeah, and man, Boston, that lineup, I've said this on Talking Baseball a lot, that's this Red Sox team identity. When Schwarber, Kike, Devers, Bogarts, Verdugo, Renfroe, ideally J.D. Martinez or a Bobby Dahlbeck, to go through that lineup 2-3 times is really, really hard.
Rays were 11-8 against Boston.
11-8
Same
against
record against
Boston.
Yankees,
And yeah, I mean the Red Sox. Hey, Pavetta's in the pen now. Looked like he's got some good stuff. Garrett Whitlock is back. He's had a crazy year. Again, was in the Yankees organization. Rule 5 trade pick. I don't know. Red Sox Rays, like, I don't even know what's the vibe in that series. Because if you're the Rays, you know, you still have the Rays mentality. Like, Boston still has a massive payroll, bigger stars, but you're a better team. So, like, I'm sure the Rays are the favorite, but do they think that? Or, I don't know. The Rays are so weird.
Yeah. At least, I mean, Glass now on Rose rotation. Like he mentioned, a lot of the guys might be more. Just Boston's a tough lineup to face. They know all that. And I would assume, like in big picture, it's a similar vibe for them as the Yankees. If I assume had more like specific like flare ups of stuff with the Yankees over the last 4 years. How many of the guys on the Rays have been there all 4 years?
Or how about this? And maybe this is a dumb question, but if the Red Sox win game 1, which is Erod versus McClanahan, like it's not like you're staring at that like, whoa, what are the Red Sox gonna do? If they win game 1, are the Red Sox favored to win the series? Like, yeah, right.
Yeah, I'd assume it's at least.
I mean, 5 games set. Money. I know that's a little tricky and a little easy, but if Boston wins one of the first 2 games, are they favored to win the series? I don't know. Because then you're going back to Boston and all that stuff. So, AL East battle, I believe we'll be live streaming for this game tonight.
I'm 95% sure it'll be that one.
Yeah. So we'll see what goes on there. More recently, last night we were streaming. Trevor Plouffe in the office. The Los Angeles Dodgers played the St. Louis Cardinals, the Birds. And what was kind of the game we asked for it to be? Waino versus Scherzer, the old men on the mound. Love that book. Scherzer gets pulled earlier. They go to the bullpen. They go to Joe Kelly in a spot they like. There's a funny handshake on the mound. Dave Roberts takes the ball. That's a good clip. Go look that up if you haven't seen it. Joe Kelly does his job, gets out of it. Waino goes, and Waino does his thing. The only guy, Waino gets pulled before seeing Justin Turner for a 3rd time. Because Justin Turner did hit a home run off of him, a nice home run, Purdy home run. But it was kind of weird because Wainwright was up to hit the inning before that, and they let him hit. So they let Waino see 2 batters. I think 1 got on base. And then they went to their bullpen, and credit to their bullpen, the Cardinals, they had a couple guys just look absolutely disgusting. That this game remained 1-1, you know, Every pitch matter, can't make a mistake. One outing by Luis Garcia. Gallegos comes in, looks really good. And then that's where some of the, if you didn't hear about this was in the press conference after the game, Gallegos, who had been a dominant closer for St. Louis, he pitched an inning, and then he hurt his nail. So he was done pitching. They sent him back out to the mound because they knew at that point of the game Dave Roberts would counter with a lefty. So, without him intending to pitch, St. Louis kind of won the battle there. They go to their lefty, McFarland. He looks pretty solid. He comes in. He's doing his thing. The at-bat that kind of changes all of it. Belly gets a walk against McFarland. Good at bat. Steals second. They went to the bullpen. They brought out Alex Reyes, who had been their closer. He was an all-star this year, I believe. He had a 0 ERA for the longest time, but he was just walking everyone. It's not the guy the Cardinals fans wanted in that game. No Jack Flaherty, no Genesis Cabrera, Dakota Hudson. I know some of these names, if you're a Cardinals fans, you're probably not excited for. They give up the walk-off homer to Chris Taylor. Cardinals were also threatening the inning before. My guy Tyler O'Neill, Kenley Jansen mows him down with a beautiful high cutter. This was a good game. I think the better team won. It was in L.A. The Cardinals had the lead. They had the 1-0 lead. At the end of the day, I think if you're a Cardinals fan, you want to be mad and sad. And, hey, I just opened up with sad Yankee stuff, and that team kind of ate bugs for a lot of the season. They only scored on a wild pitch. I forgot about that because it was the first inning. So, you literally, you kind of didn't score. I know a lot of eyes are going to go to Reyes. He gives up the homer, and you still can't do that. And if he didn't, we'd be talking about a 1-1 game going into extras. But if you're a Cardinals fan, Arenado had some at-bats with runners out there. O'Neill had some at-bats with runners out there. Carlson, I think Yachty early, and it just never happened. So Cardinals win 3-1. Was that the final? It was a 2-run walk-off, right?
2-run walk-off.
Good for Chris Taylor. I have some weird mixed emotions about Chris Taylor. I used to not like his face, and then I realized his face kind of looks like one of my friends, and then I was like, whoa, it's kind of messed up. It looks like a contorted version of my friend a little bit. And I just like what he's about. He's changed his whole game to become a better baseball player. He plays every position. I think he's going to get a nice free agent contract this offseason, especially with how good Kike has been in Boston. I think there's some transitive concepts there. They came from the Dodgers. They played every position. The fact that Chris Taylor could, play center field if you need. So, sorry Cardinals fans. Sorry Yankees fans. Not our year. Cardinals kind of took the reverse route. They flatlined for most of the year, and then they came in, almost as hot as a baseball team can come in to the playoffs. Waino did his part. I guess if I was a Cardinals fan waking up today, I wish they would have let Waino go a little longer, because then potentially that stretches out your bullpen and you don't have to get to Reyes. And if you went down with Waino, I think you feel better than going down with Reyes. That's kind of the thought process there. But you also didn't score any runs. I know Edmund kind of was punchy. It felt like Goldschmidt was having good at-bats. Arenado and Tyler O'Neill and Carlson, he should be in the mix there. Felt like they kind of didn't do it. Which, now, we said this last episode, BBD, I had our friend Ryan Sheedy reach out to me. He said, hey, love your guys' chemistry. So that's hot. And then he was talking about the Dodgers DraftKings stuff was really interesting, because it was like, if you like the Dodgers, get your bet in before the wild card. So now I want to see what their World Series odds are, because, it's got to be they have to be big favorites to win it, because they're basically a super team. I've been yelling that for
There's big a super team as we've like seen in baseball.
like, man, that roster, dude, is just silly.
I mean, yeah, you look at the Dynasty Yankees or whatever. I think in real time, this is what it felt like.
I mean, dude, I know Bauer's tough to talk about a lot of ways, but like he's a Cy Young winner, just not with the team right now. Clayton Kershaw's out. He's one of the best pitchers of their our generation, and they still have the best pitching staff by far. You take those guys off of any other team, and I just don't think that's it. I'm trying to find.
I have them. Dodgers still the favorite because they were the favorite before they won. It's plus 240 now. I believe it was like plus 350 before the wild card game. It feels right in my head. Then there's a gap. Astros, Rays, White Sox, Giants are all kind of in the same group. Astros are kind of a big step ahead. They're plus 500 second best odds.
You know, I guess I thought it was going to jump up a little more than that.
Yeah.
But they are playing the Giants, who have technically been the best team in baseball all year. I hope
from where they were, that's still a big jump.
Yeah, and I hope that's a man.
I wonder if they win game one in San Fran.
That just starts changing everything.
Then we might get the jump.
Yeah, Muncie, Nate Steele in the chat. He is out. Yeah, I mean, that Dodgers roster, I keep saying it, like, involve your injured players, involve their injured players, however you want to do it. That team is not the same as your team. But Giants are kind of the one team that can prove that wrong. Or if the White Sox were to get hot, or if the Rays are just sick bastards, which they are. We know that. So that's kind of the baseball rundown. Tonight is... So the afternoon game is White Sox-Stros?
White Sox, Houston.
White Sox-Stros, that's at 4?
Yeah. I know the Astros have hated for a long time that they keep getting afternoon playoff games. But here we are.
Here we are.
And 4 o'clock's different. They've gotten a lot of like the 2 o'clock slots in the past.
Let me know when Correa hits his walk-off. That will happen.
Yeah. Hammer Altuve. Something.
God. That's going to be an interesting series. That's going to be... I think a lot of people... Obviously, you have the general sports fan who knows about what Houston did and is just going to root against them. The White Sox also put together kind of the baseball team that baseball fans like. Like, they've got their big starting pitchers. They got fun bullpen guys. They've got a lineup. They got a core of their lineup that they roll out every day. Anderson, Robert, Abreu, Grandal, Eloy, Moncada. They've had a couple injuries, too, and have made some plays. They traded Madrigal, my guy. Forgot he's on the Cubs now. Yeah. But, yeah, Rodon, Lynn, Giolito, Cease, Hendricks, Kimbrel, Bummer, Tepera, Kopech, Crochet. If the White Sox play how the White Sox should play, they should beat Houston. It's a playoff series, man. And this Houston team's a bunch of sickos. Altuve, Brantley, Bregman, Alvarez, Gurriel, Correa, Tucker. I mean, that lineup, if not goes toe-to-toe with Chicago White Sox, I think you can make an argument it's better right now.
And just about everyone's got more playoff experience than just about everyone on the White Sox. They got the series under their belt last year,
But yeah, I mean, this team, they won. Some of these guys won a World Series. They've been to the CS every year. McCullers, Framber, Odorizzi, Urquidy, Garcia. I guess that's what I'd say because, one of those guys is going to kick to the bullpen. We'll see if it's Urquidy or Odo. Do they have their staff listed? It says they're going McCullers, Framber, Garcia. So I'm pretty sure they used Urquidy as their bullpen help last year from the starting pitching. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens again.
Piggyback somebody.
Presley and Graveman have been good, and then if you need innings from I think Stanek or Yimi Garcia. I don't think that's necessarily their ideal plan, but we'll see. I mean, a lot of these guys have also pitched in playoff games. Christian Javier, Brooks Raley. What's Greinke doing in their bullpen? I have no fucking clue. So, yeah, I wouldn't bet against Houston. The Chicago White Sox can win. I think their starting pitching after seeing that just has to be so special. And they can be. It's a crazy talented pitching staff. Rodon, Lynn, Giolito, Cease. In a 5-game set, like, I don't know. I guess if you're looking for a take or a gambling lean or anything, I don't have it. I wouldn't bet against Houston.
Just betting against Houston specifically is a bad idea. And the AL Central, like the internet is a little aggressive calling it the division of frauds, but it's kind of been like the Twitter streets, nickname for that division, because it's like one team runs away with it. They don't really get tested all year, and they've been bounced in the first round of the playoffs just about every year. But on paper, this White Sox team is crazy good, very deep rotation that can give like length beyond as well as effectiveness. And you actually take a look at that bullpen, a bunch of like good relievers,
Really
with
good.
Kimbrel and Hendricks both at the back end there. And their lineup's crazy deep too. Hedges did the division series preview on Chris Rowe's rotation today, and he mentioned because he was a catcher for the Indians this year.
Yes.
So he faced them a lot. He brought up Gavin Sheets. Like,
Yeah.
that dude's nasty at the plate, tough to face. When they had a bunch of injuries and whatever early in the year, he was batting 4-hole for them. Fangraphs has him in their 8-hole right now.
Yeah.
He's going to bat 8 or 9, and he's kind of a bonus piece if he's even starting.
Right, because you have him as
Vaughn's
the lefty.
on the bench as well.
Andrew Vaughn was a 3rd pick in the draft.
Collins hit from the catcher position a little bit.
Yeah,
I
he was
think,
supposed
and,
to DH for them this year. Like this team,
he's on the bench. Billy Hamilton as their pinch run option.
always,
Engel as well is there.
always. Let's hope we get a good series. I think if you're the White Sox, this sounds dumb. You don't have to win tonight. You don't have to win tonight. This sounds really dumb. I was just going to say you can't go down 0-2. And they're 2 games in Washington. Or excuse me, it's at Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that actually makes me feel better for them. You just need to split.
If you can get the split.
You have Lance Lynn and Lucas Giolito. You just have to split. And honestly, I think tonight's their best bet. I love Lance Lynn slinging it tonight. I don't think he's going to let them down. And
You're not going to be phased.
it's not shots fired at Lance McKellars in any ways. I just think Framber in a playoff game is a nightmare because he is one of the few starting pitchers in baseball that genuinely gets better as the game goes. So if you don't get it early against Framber, like, you're kind of done. So, yeah, I actually like that for them. You got to split in Houston, become a part of the series, see how your team's playing, and then you take it home, and you got to do what you need to do there. Where if it comes down to a Game 5, it's in Houston, that matters. I was just mad at the Yankees for not having the deciding game, but you're in the middle of a 5-game set. Anything can happen in a Game 5.
There's a rhythm to the series at that point.
Yes. The motion of the ocean wearing lotion. National League, Dodgers, Giants, we touched on a little bit. I don't know what to tell you. I think the Dodgers are a goddamn super team. I think there's a really good chance we're going to be sitting here talking baseball on November 2nd saying, yeah, the Dodgers are the best team. They were the best team and added Max Scherzer and Trey Turner.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys that people genuinely think are going to win the MVP and the Cy Young. They were already the most talented team. And that's who they added. And Hey, I hope the Giants prove me wrong again. They've proved everybody wrong this year. We love Gabe Kapler. Love that team. A lot of veterans, like a lot of experience. Brandon Crawford isn't going to be scared of a big moment. Buster Posey. Chris Bryant. Evan Longoria. Like, this lineup, I think, is going to show up and battle. They put their guys in good situations. Honestly, it's going to be the first real test for these pitchers. I mean, Kevin Gossman has been nasty the last couple years. He's going to be pitching in some big playoff games. DeScalfani, Logan Webb. I think Alex Wood has been in some playoff games, but not in the role that he may find himself in this series. I think everyone's kind of going to be rooting Giants, and it's not a shot at the Dodgers. It's just... we like seeing the new thing, the next thing. And maybe it's them. I mean, when you just read the names, and again, if you put the Giants roster next to the Dodgers roster, you say which team is better? Dodgers.
Even with, both sides have injuries, but even with the injuries. And other notable people out.
If you gave San Francisco Scherzer and Trey Turner, the Dodgers could still be the better team. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be intense. That's one of the sneakier rivalries in baseball. It might not even be sneaky, but maybe it's underrated.
If you grew up with the Yankees, Red Sox, like you and I did, sneaks up and you have big rivalry. Dodgers,
West Coast. West Coast, best coast, baby. Trevor Plouffe will tell you. So we'll tune in for that. I really hope. Or, dude, how about Giants just prove me wrong? Just steamroll them. That'd be nuts.
And they've been just winning all year. And, I guess nobody's fully been able to explain how they do it. Just everyone pitches well and everyone hits well. Everyone's pretty much every guy feels like has stepped up.
Yeah, they're
big moments.
Their team page, the Giants team page. First in bullpen ERA, third in pitching ERA. There's your formula. You've got a seventh in hitting, the great coaching staff, fourth in OPS. Like, this Giants team, I guess when you take away the names as a team, they're as scary as it gets. Let's go 5. Let's get nuts. Trevor Plouffe just yelled at me. And Milwaukee versus the Braves. A couple teams that we like and are friendly with us. Corbin Burns versus Morton. Woodruff versus Fried. Peralta, Anderson. These games just feel like they're going to be super close. I don't know. I don't know if experience is going to matter. I don't know if either team is really going to hit. Because Morton, Burns, Woodruff, Fried, I just don't see those guys having a bad day.
Don't see them being bad. Overall, complete package, yeah, you'd take that Brewers rotation, but any given day, those guys can easily match them. My thing I keep saying that doesn't actually... Man, the Brewers are deep. I wonder if that becomes really important. Their lineup may not super impress you. Wong, Adames, Yelich, Garcia, Narvaez, Escobar, Tellez, and Kane is how they have it listed on Fangraphs. But they've got a whole nother group of guys that could be starting. Yeah. If Vogelbach... They're just as comfortable with them.
If Vogelbach was starting at first base, it's Vogie. He is what he is. Urias had a really nice year. He's 24-year-old, OPS around 800. Plays second, third, played a little short. Jace Peterson, I highlighted him a couple times this year. He's Jace Peterson, but he had a nice year. Jackie Bradley Jr., that guy's played in a lot of big games. I know his hitting, I've been tougher than a lot of people, but if he has a big at-bat, I'm not too worried about him. I think he's going to put an at-bat together, and he's going to catch any ball near him if he's in the outfield. Tyrone Taylor was a stud for the Brewers for a couple weeks this year. He got hurt. And that's before you get to the pitching of Burns, Woodruff, Peralta, Hauser, Hader, Ashby, everyone's really excited about. Brad Boxberger, I bet.
Yeah.
Like, if I look at Atlanta, am I impressed by their depth like that? Like, there's a chance? Are NL teams just always deeper?
I mean, they need more guys they're comfortable going to, but
The answer's no. Jock Peterson, they're going to have the Braves are going to have one outfielder on the bench that they like, or that you like in a playoff game, whether that's Jock Peterson, Rosario, Duvall.
that if this is your first time watching the Braves this year.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, that's Guillermo Heredia, Arcia, Adrianza. I know, those guys do some different things. Oh, Orlando Arcia, former Brewers, great. Wow, that's a fun storyline that exists but may not matter. Morton Fried, Anderson, Yanoa, Will Smith. I wonder if they make Yanoa a little bit of a swing man.
They can.
Be
Their overall pitching staff can get pretty gross.
It'd be interesting. And then, hey, they've got a lot of guys with playoff experience now. Will Smith, Luke Jackson, Matzik, Minter, Martin. These guys have all pitched in big playoff games recently. They traded for Rodriguez at the deadline. This should be a good series. I wonder, hey, Jakey, just talking out loud to you guys, the one thing that looks like it could be a difference maker is depth, which just does find a way to rear its head in a playoff series. Especially NL when you're subbing for pitchers and that kind of thing. I guess after seeing that, I'd lean Brewers, but dude, also this Braves lineup, I don't know, man. Baseball. I think this is going to be the best series. How about that? If I had to bet on best series, I just think this is going to be a roller coaster, probably back and forth games late. Braves lineup's good. Soler, who's been really good for them, so you have to treat him that way. Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley had a monster year. Adam Duvall, good. Rosario, good. Darno, permanently scared of him being Yankee fans. Dansby, okay. Okay, the playoffs are set. We'll have the first set of games this weekend. We'll be streaming a lot of them. I think Saturday is our day we're taking off, but we should be around for games.
And even then, still an episode in the morning.
Still an episode in the morning. They're going to hang me in the morning. So, yeah, get ready for that. We got Talking Baseball coming up in a minute. Excuse me. Baseball Today coming up in 10 minutes. Trevor Plouffe poked his head in and yelled at us. Loser.
Something about shut up.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I heard a chair fall out there, and me and BBD thought that Trevor Plouffe was going to fight us for a second. What do we... That's baseball. Like I told you guys, so much stuff. Chris Rose is doing bonus stuff like BBD mentioned. If you guys need baseball stuff, we got it. We got it. Let's do a little foosball. Monday night, the Raiders played the... I'm blanking right now. Was it Raiders Chargers? I think the Chargers rolled them. Let's double check that just to catch up the people. Yeah, Chargers 28, Raiders 14. Both teams 3-1 now. It's in L.A.
Raiders have gotten a lot of important slots, huh?
Yeah, how about that?
I guess that kind of always happens. There's just a lot of Raider fans.
Yeah, I wonder if they do pretty well ratings-wise. That's a care, don't care kind of thing.
Yeah, well, just my whole life they've put together like two good teams, but
I can see that.
There just are a lot of Raider fans.
There are a lot of Raider
fans. They moved
fans.
around a lot. So
I think the Raiders used to identify with something else in our society. Like if you're tough, you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah.
Maybe you still are.
Maybe this shows how how much football history I don't know, but is it maybe kind of like 90s? Is like Yankees and Braves were a lot of the teams on, and so that's why there's a lot of them elsewhere, even if you didn't grow up there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what a perfect Raiders cross-sport comparison is because
the Cowboys Steelers get a lot because of that. The Raiders also when they were good, right?
It's like John Madden. It's like literally Skull and Crossbones. I think they were when football was like, you wanted to break a guy's back. Like that was the rate. Al Davis, what he stood for. This week of NFL football, hey, if you're not a baseball person, which would be weird if you're tuning into this, I'll be honest. But not weird. Not weird. Rams Seahawks tonight in Seattle. Trev's Rams versus Trev Seahawks. His new best friend Matt Stafford, and the Rams trying to come off of their first loss to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, and that's kind of funny facing Kyler and Russ back to back. I wonder if, Kyler has a lot more speed and running than Russ does at this point, but prepping for two short quarterbacks. Wonder if there's anything football-y there that I don't really know about. Could ask Bobby. Not going to ask Bobby. Should be a good football game. Again, Rams are favorited in Seattle. That part, I know Seattle's not the team that, some of my football takes sound like they're 2.5 years old. It's Russ in Seattle Thursday night, short week. I know that matters in football land. I would go Hawks plus 2.5 if you're looking to get in on that one because they can win that game. Let's see the Sunday slate. What looks good? Oh, BBD. We're going to London.
Ooh.
Jets Falcons 1-3 versus 1-3. My God. Zach Wilson after his first win, he has to fly to London.
9:30 a.m. our time game.
It's a little ridiculous. It's always kind of fun. I might even have more fun with it now because is Travel to Europe open? Whatever. Being in Denver, this game was a little too early. This game would be Sunday at 7:30.
Maybe you're up by the fourth quarter of that.
Yeah, like you catch. It's kind of
you're still going out on Saturdays.
If you haven't forgotten, like if it's just not in your head, and to set an alarm early, just for a football game, that stuff. Like in Denver, it would have to be like I'm going to bed. I'm like, oh, that football game's tomorrow. I should wake up, have coffee at the TV, like. That's normally not my Sunday move. Just wake up.
Tough if
have a bite.
Neither of them are your team.
Yeah.
And given the teams they are the Jets and Falcons.
Yeah, I don't think I've even said Falcons yet. But yeah, Matty Ryan, Matty Ice be over there. Falcons are a 3-point favorite. I'll tell you what. Hey, I know we probably got some Jets fans in here. I'm gonna root for you. If Zach Wilson can win back-to-back games, and I'm sure both these teams probably have their bye week the week after this because you're coming back from London. I think that's how the NFL sets it up. That'd be really huge for Zach Wilson to have back-to-back wins going to a bye week. Both these teams stink. So if you're up in time for that, watch it with a little coffee. Enjoy yourselves. Packers-Bengals. There's a sneaky game for you. 3-1. Rodgers, Burrow, couple coxmen in their own way. That could be fun. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I'd enjoy that. When's the last time you could say that about like a Bengals game?
Bengals offense is like fully clicked this year.
Yeah.
And good. People are loving what Joe Burrow's doing, and he just destroyed his knee a year ago. We're not seeing anywhere near what the full ability is.
Yeah. I mean Burrow. And he's like a Cincinnati, Ohio guy. I mean, I'd root for that, man.
Special.
That's like that like changes cities, man. If Joe Burrow's a really good NFL quarterback for the next decade,
which the sample so far is pretty nice,
and he's one of the guys, he's a guy that would be happy playing in Cincinnati, like boil that and breed off of it. That's weird. Doesn't make sense even. Boil it and breed off of it? It's not a phrase. It's not something you tell anybody.
No.
It's not something you tell anyone. Lions, Vikings, don't watch. Oh, my God. Minnesota's a 9.5-point favorite. they're 1-3. The Lions are 0-4, and that line honestly probably makes sense. God, I want Lions and my guy Dan Campbell to get a win, but the other team gets to play the Lions every week.
The other team's juiced up to try to get a win. I think it's a team they should beat. So
here's a fun one for me. My Broncos, who are 3-1, they got their first L last week. They're playing the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a 1-point favorite. The over/under is 39.5. Is Bridgewater out?
I was going to ask you.
Teddy Bridgewater, Steelers. Let's see what comes up. Good Google search. Broncos. Denver gets Teddy Bridgewater. Update. Might return Thursday from concussion protocol. 1 hour ago, Teddy Bridgewater, Melvin Gordon missed practice. We'll see. I'm seeing might return. That obviously, if he can play, that changes a lot. If he can't, man, Steelers really need a win. This is scary. As a Broncos fan, that's a scary game. I mean, in Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is 1-3. Yeah, I don't love that for my horsies, especially if Teddy's not out there. Even if he is, I think that might be tough. Bucks, Dolphins. Nope. No, thank you.
I know how that ends.
Line is 10. I mean, it's Brady coming off in New England, but he kind of didn't play good.
Yeah, he wasn't specifically good.
Like, you could do a whole trap game conversation, but
I think he's extra motivated to personally perform. So,
yeah.
that's not a guy that needs extra motivation.
Jason in the chat, wait, a Yankee Bronco fan? Must have been born around 1990 and picked the good teams. For the Broncos, yes. Yes. I was born into Yankee fandom. I picked my football team, and I picked the Broncos because I really like Terrell Davis. So that part is true. But again, that's where I kind of enjoy being a Knicks fan sometimes.
Yeah. It's a nice back pocket to have a little bit.
What do you think about this?
And growing up, Giants were good for me. So
Yeah. I like that. Saints Washington. This is an interesting one. Probably not to necessarily watch as a football game, but for these two teams' season trajectory. If the Washington football team, if they can go to 3-2 in the NFC East, you're always alive. We know that. We've had that conversation every week. Famous Jameis, the Saints season, they were 1-2, I think, excuse me.
I think
they were 2-1
they lost last week.
They lost to the Giants. What was their bad loss? Did they lose to New England? They lost to the Panthers. They got blown out by the Panthers, 26-7. So they were 1-1. Then they beat the Patriots, which is looking a little more impressive, at New England, 28-13. After they gave Tom Brady and the Bucs a game. So yeah, this whatever team wins this game feels like they're going to be a serious playoff threat. Whatever team loses this game would have to do it makes their season incrementally harder. That feels like the most significant so far. Like, I haven't seen any other season that gets derailed. Like, if the Bengals drop to 3-2 against the Packers, I think they've expected that.
Yeah. It can get derailed, and I think both teams they would view this win as a potential propeller moving forward, which he said. But
Panthers Eagles in Carolina, that's going to be interesting. Carolina has been the better team, 3-1 versus 1-3. Eagles, if you don't want your season to get away from you, you kind of can't do 1-4. But man, Panthers at home, that's a good defense, and Hurts is Hurts. Like, I know a lot of people are being tough with him. I think he makes some good plays. I think he makes some bleh plays. Interesting. Panthers could go to 4-1.
yeah, they just got Gilmore.
Yeah, I saw that. That's football. All these leagues have some weird rules.
I think there's been way more early season trades this year. I mean, for the most part, Gilmore the exception. It's guys you don't really think about. So maybe I
There
just
was
maybe I just get
Gilmore.
him out of my head. But
Who were there was another NFL cuts this week because it was like save. I think if you cut guys by this week, you saved X amount of dollars. So there was Gilmore and there was another guy who was like a pretty big player. I'm blanking on it. We'll see if the chat has it. Was another defender blanking. What else do we got? Titans, Jaguars, Urban Meyer, God, 0-4 in Jacksonville. Man, I just don't know. Titans just lost to the Jets.
I don't think I want to talk about this.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
See what happens.
I would say Titans roll. Like, I don't see the Jaguars rallying around Urban Meyer. And, dude, that sucks for Trevor Lawrence. Like, what? Jalen Smith from Dallas, the linebacker. That's right. Evan Phillips, my guy in the chat. Yeah, Titans are just going to roll them over. Urban's last week as a coach. Bang. Patriots, Texans, both 1-3. Whoa. New England's a 9-point favorite in Houston? That's not right. I guess Houston still doesn't have a quarterback, but Mac Jones had like a good quarter and a half.
Patriots are getting a lot of benefit of the doubt for a 1-3 team.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave the Bucks a close game, and
don't get me
and they
wrong.
have
If this
the coaching, all
if this
that.
was New England minus 4.5, I'd be like, okay, I kind of get it. Texans stink, but yeah, I don't know, man. That's a huge line for a road team that's not like a scary NFL team.
Mm-hmm. That even if they had a good record, we wouldn't be saying like they're going to win a Super Bowl.
Like
They're
Chiefs at Texans would be like, I think 14 right now. New England, I don't think it's a 5-point gap. Bears, Raiders, these start the 4 o'clock games. Okay, 3-1 Raiders host the 2-2 Bears.
Yeah,
not a
Fields
great
is,
watch.
like officially the quarterback there.
Yeah, I guess that's fun. Look out for him. Here's a good one that's not a good one. Browns, Chargers. Two kind of underachieving teams of the past couple decades that are now in a happy place. Herbert at home hosting Baker and the boys. That could be a good football game, and I don't know. And I think Chris Rose's family is going to that game because they're Browns fans, and it's in L.A. Chris Rose works Sunday, so he's not going. His family hates him. Giants, Cowboys. Wow. How about them? Dallas, 7-point touchdown favorite at home. Giants coming off their first win.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting test for them because I'm sure, I don't get to listen to WFAN every day because we do our replica here. Them winning last week in New Orleans, not quitting on Joe Judge, that kind of thing. I'm sure that's going on. Daniel Jones with a huge box score game at the end of the day, 400 yards. I hope the Giants...
It would be a big, big win for them after being as close to death as they can be. You take care of the division opponent, the other teams, and the Eagles and Washington don't have great matchups necessarily.
And it would be bringing
Washington playing a motivated Saints team.
In the NFC East right now, the Cowboys are the only threat to run away with it. Yeah,
this week. Takes them out of that conversation for now.
Yeah.
Still can.
Cowboys are just talented. They're a really good team. So, but man, Daniel Jones looked good last week. Saquon looked good last week.
As much as we being me and the Talking Giants guys shit on Jason Garrett, the last 2 weeks game plan's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Last week particularly, they went deep a lot, which is what Jones is supposed to be good at. And I think. And again, listening to them, check their episodes out. But like last year, the 2 Cowboy games people said were Garrett's best coordinated games. Some extra motivation, all that. So.
Wow, love that. Giants, giving a game, hell, win it, because that brings everyone. the Cowboys, who are starting to get like, are they a real Super Bowl contender love? That brings them back into the NFC East slog, and it would bring the Giants into the NFC East slog. Go Giants, go. Throw it deep. That's what I hear all the Giants fans say.
It's a very realistic possibility that Giants, Washington, both 2-3. Eagles can be 2-3 if they win. And Cowboys are 3-2, and everyone's within a game, and they all stink. And
Cowboys better take this game seriously, and they might. Like, they could roll. There's no doubt about that.
No result of this game is shocking.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's the NFL. Niners at Cardinals. The 4-0 Cole Tucker's Arizona Cardinals host the 49ers. Niners have just lost a couple. I mean, if Cardinals go 5-0, I think like full-blown Cardinals mania takes off, and good because Kyler's awesome.
I think this is the start of their. I think they have a pretty brutal like 7 or 9 game stretch.
So what do we got?
I'd love to see their full schedule.
So they just beat the Rams, so I'd assume that was a part of it. Yeah, they host the Niners, who we'll see. We're going to find out what they are. At Cleveland, it's a tough game. They host the Texans. So, yeah, there's your bye week. Packers, Niners, Panthers, Seahawks, Bears, Rams, Lions, Colts.
I think through that Seahawks is supposed to be brutal. Maybe you can throw in through the Rams. So I know it's like a test. They kind of need to go. They need to at least like split that.
They're going to get a hungry Niners team. I mean, this Niners team just.
They need a win.
2-0 on the road. The Niners are this year, so they could become like the road Niners. Maybe that's fun. Or the Cardinals go to 5-0, and they're like the woe team this year. And good. Kyler's awesome. Go watch them. The Sunday night game. This is fun. Chiefs-Bills. I've been drinking the Bills Kool-Aid. I might have to apologize to some Bills fans. Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs. They seeing if they get it into gear. They beat the Eagles. We talked about this 42-30, so you know you would have liked to see a 42-14, and the defense gets a little love. I mean, this is where we'll find out if the Chiefs' defense is like broken. If the Bills beat them and the Chiefs drop to 2-3, like they've just been beat a couple times this year. It's in Arrowhead, man. Depending where the baseball's at that night, you're going to want to watch that game. I think Josh Allen's going to put on a show. I think he knows people are going to be watching. Is the weather going to be good? Damn. I'm ready for a bad weather game. Monday night, Colts-Ravens. We'll talk about that a little then. Ravens should roll them out. So that's the foosball. Anything else you need to get off your chest, BBD?
No, I mean, this NBA thing that just came out. Have you seen that?
What I see 18 former NBA players arrested for defrauding healthcare plan?
Yeah.
What is this? 18 NBA players.
It's quite a list. Our group chat's going.
Who's our favorite player in the group?
Big Baby Davis.
Oh.
Tony Roten's in there.
Ugh.
Antoine Wright, Sebastian Telfair, Tony Allen, probably the best player in there.
So this
Darius
just
Miles.
No. 18 former NBA players have been...
Jamario Moon.
Jesus. Cavaliers savior, Jamario Moon. 18 former NBA players have been charged with defrauding the league's health and welfare benefit plan out of $4 million. $4 million?
Total?
Between 18 guys? I mean, what's healthcare fraud? Let's see.
That seems like something we just make them pay it back.
False claims totaling $3.9 million. Defendants received $2.5 million. The league's major stars weren't charged. So this is $2.5 million between 18 NBA players. I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but that feels like...
I'm not saying it's not good behavior. I don't care about it, but it's not good behavior.
I don't know. I mean, that's... I did not see that coming up at the end of today's show.
Yeah. I think by next episode, maybe we know more about it, or it's just dead.
Or we don't care. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen this feels like a big Twitter story now, and then I think everyone's going to read it like we did, and they're like, well, so try to
They
get
just need to scrounge up $4 million between.
try to get a
Just do 2 Crashmore movies and.
couple guys trying to
covered.
get $100K. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for the
The
NBA.
headline.
They got it.
Fun names to read.
Those were fun names to read. That was the best part of it. Jamario Moon. Weird sport. Bakers, you guys have been absolutely killing it. We are up to 4.25K subs.
Wow.
Yeah. Perfect game last episode. Also not a big deal. No thumbs down. That's just the life we live. Tom Ace, who's always here, forgive me for I have sinned. I missed Tuesday's show, but for good reason, as I just started a new job today. I'll be tuning in live as much as I can, but if I miss, I will always love you. Jake, Jimmy, BBD, Zach, Trev, the chat, the entire Jam crew. You guys have gotten me through tough time in my life, through fun, dumb, entertaining, informative content. Thank you for the laughs, gents. Let's keep rocking. Go Yankees. Tom Ace, the best. A JM chat legend. Let's see. It looks like we got another Tom. Tom Bacon, a Baltimore sports fan. O's get number 1 pick and Lamar goes nuts. Happy about both. Being a Baltimore sports fan is weird.
You might be the same guy that got excited about Mountcastle Day.
Wouldn't doubt it. Let's see what else we got. Drake Souza wants Jake's Jets in the near future. I think it already happened. I just said I was rooting for them in London. But I'd rather it be Jake's Raiders. That's tough. That's a lot going on. Davey with some MLB playoff stuff. Yeah, we'll save that for the off season. We got a long time to talk about different MLB playoff formats. Let's enjoy the one we're in now. Bro of the night. I'll just cop out and go to Chris Taylor. He had a walk-off homer in a do-or-die
cool.
playoff game.
It's usually gets you a good candidacy.
Yeah, I saw. And the way they butter knifed it, it was like there's been 4 walk-off homers ever in do-or-die playoff games. And I think it was like Mazeroski game 7. Because like Joe Carter doesn't count because I think that was a game 6. I can find it. Well, maybe you give your bro the night, PBD.
I have a kind of a bro-bruh situation. We'll start with the bruh, and it's Garrett Cole. It's already annoying me. He's got gave the uncles free ammunition for like 3 years. Because even if he like shoves the next 2 postseasons, they're just gonna always point to this one. It's like, oh, you look at the full postseason package is good, and the hamstring or whatever. But like, yeah, he was bad, and I'm mad at him for it. But he is good. Like, it's not like he's not good. Personal catcher stuff's annoying me, but whatever. Like, I'm feeling it right now, but I'm already like not excited for the next year of Garrett Cole discourse. People saying like he's not a big game pitcher. It's like, he's been good in big games in his career.
Yeah,
but he had some untimely bad ones this year. But he had some good ones in big games this year too that you got to remember happened.
I think he was hurt, man.
I think he was really hurt.
That sucks. Look at his last few starts.
And he's just, even with those 5 starts, the complete package stats back it up. Like, he's going to finish second Cy Young.
I guess, and dude, this is where everything ties in baseball, every day doesn't matter and get your rest and blah, blah, blah. Like, if the Yankees had played better earlier this season, if they won one more game, the wild card game would have been at Yankee Stadium, which that changes things.
I guess you can point to him. He lost them a couple games. But.
Literally and figuratively. If they had won a couple more games earlier in the season, could they have put Garrett Cole on the IL and not have him at pitch on his clearly hurt hamstring a couple times? Remember that first game he covered first after hurting his hamstring and he couldn't run really well?
And his best start in that stretch after, he labored through 5 innings and 1 run against the Orioles.
So yeah, man, it's just dock it. In 10 years, it'll come out that his hamstring wasn't good, and that ended up hurting the team. And, I get it. Garrett Cole's a competitor, and he gets paid to get the ball on that day. So if he can throw it, he's going to throw it. If he's hurt,
he still said he can pitch.
Right.
He's got to pitch better than that.
But how nice would it have
Has to
been
pitch better than he did.
if the Yankees had a 7-game lead in the wild card when Cole got hurt, that they could have 10-day IL'd him.
Skipped 2 starts, come back,
Got him
get 2
healthy.
tune-ups, and
So that's
I think
where
probably would have been out more if they had more time. But
that's where all the little stuff does tie in for baseball, and I don't think the people that make decisions understand that. Chris Taylor with the 5th walk-off homer in a winner-take-all postseason game, joining 2016 AL wildcard Edwin Encarnacion. Hot. 2003 Aaron Bleepin Boom. 1976 Chris Chambliss. 1960 Bill Mazeroski. So
it's good. It's a fun group.
interesting way to chop it up a little bit.
Yeah. And the other half of my brother that goes to Nesbitt, our guy. Sent me a nice DM this morning about back alley at bats.
He's the man.
Which everyone should go check out. And make sure you stick around
Is
to
he
the
complimenting your swing?
Said we know we can. I'll read it. Don't.
I know he's hyping that swing, BBD. We all know.
We all know. BBD, we can all see that you have the best load and swing of anyone in Reading. So all caps. So God, did it feel good to see you uncork that last one, even though it was foul.
Mm.
They sent the video of it.
Yeah.
we had a nice chat.
Did
this
uncork
morning.
on that one.
Like whenever that next game comes,
He's
I
coming.
think it'll be a big one for me.
Guys and gals, keep baking the algorithm. You guys are the best. Feo in the chat, my guy, Big Baby Davis. Normal Dog, all of you, Nate Steele, thank you guys. We'll probably be seeing you on the live stream later. Like BBD just mentioned, Back Alley at Bats. Go watch that today. That's good stuff. Go check out the Bino tournament. That was a lot of fun. That Joe's McFly should have been bro of the night. Speaking of Pinstripe Strong, talking Nets, talking Giants, go G-Men, the compound with the in-hap sequence. Trevor Plouffe's here. He recorded yesterday. JJR yesterday with Trevor Plouffe. Chris Rose doing extra episodes. Mansplain Baseball. Hey, y'all with Ashlyn. Farm to Fame. Moylan Winger. Matty Mass, feel better. Thanks, everyone. Let's go.